What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Heel Heat. Who better? Nobody.
Welcome to True Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
It's Saturday morning, and you know what that means. It's time for some True Heel Heat. There is a lot to discuss from this past week in professional wrestling, with more from the White Rabbit mystery as it heats up. No AEW releases as Tony Khan puts down an edict following Malakai Black announcing that he has not been released from AEW. Recap of the weekly shows. We got a special guest who is lost in the mid-card, plus much, much more. Let's get to it. Hit the intro. Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for True Heel Heat 195. Not gonna take this. We are going to be discussing the latest wrestling news, including the White Rabbit mystery heating up, Tony Khan's edict of no AEW releases, with Malakai Black confirming that it's not gone from AEW. Recap of the weekly shows with AEW Dynamite, Rampage, WWE Raw, Smackdown, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Burning Spirit, Impact on AXS TV, and more. We're also going to give you our match of the week picks. We are here. She is back. 1 week off, but she is back with us. Please be nice to the beautiful, the lovely Miss Krssi Luv.
Good morning. My energy is not here. Please forgive me. I'm not feeling my best, but I'm so happy to be back with you guys. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone has been having a good week or two. Missed you all. What's up, SP?
You've been missed. You've been missed,
you guys.
Krssi Luv.
Yeah.
They definitely missed you on last week's show, so we're glad to have you back with us, and hope you're feeling better, and hope the kids are good in the background there. I heard a little
that's one of the ones. That's one of the ones that probably passed it to me. So yeah.
Ooh, okay. Fair enough. Well, we have a special guest with us. He's got a nice, cool haircut. You've seen this man many different places over on the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast. But more importantly, he is the co-host of the Lost in the Midcard podcast, which is coming to the Believe in Pro Wrestling podcast YouTube channel. He is a very talented, well knowledgeable sir in the wrestling media game. Jeremy Bennett, what's going on?
What's happening, man? You're gonna hear my deep voice tonight because I was screaming, yelling, and all sorts of things last night at a wedding. So it was a wild night. Yeah, it was a wild night that started at like 5 and didn't get over till about 2.
Oh, that's a party. That is a party.
Yeah, and we're gonna do it all over again for the Husker game here in about 5-6 hours. So geez.
Nice.
I'm gonna be doing absolutely nothing tomorrow, and I'm gonna be loving it.
You're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead in your bed, and that's how it should be. You're gonna get some well-needed rest after your wild weekend, sir. But anyone who's having a wild weekend, we thank you and welcome you to True Heel Heat, our flagship podcast here every Saturday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. We got a couple of folks in the live chat. Remember to sound off in the live chat. We want to hear your thoughts on all the latest wrestling news, the shows from this past week, plus much, much more. The most important way, because we're going to try to highlight as many of your comments as possible, but the most important way to have your comment highlighted on screen is with a super chat donation. It helps out the channel so much, helps us grow, helps us to get more content that you enjoy every single day right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We got CM here with us in the chat saying, hey, y'all. We got Ace saying, what's up, everyone? We got G Loke saying, woohoo, top of the morning. A lot to talk about. He's ready for today. We got Annika who says, Mrs. Krissy. So she's happy to see
miss
Krssi
you.
Luv. We got Frantic World saying, what's up, THH, Jeremy, and chat. We got CM who says, Krissy is here. Yes, indeed. And we got Jaleel here with us saying, hi, everyone. Hi to all of you, and welcome to the flagship podcast. And we appreciate everyone who joins us live, everyone watching us on demand. We've done 10 straight weeks of over 1,000 views. So hope this video does that as well for our flagship podcast. So remember to drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. The YouTube algorithms help all of that, and like all that stuff. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. We show our appreciation back in little ways as much as possible, like our True Hill Roll Call, how we start off every episode of our flagship podcast. We shout out everyone who's supporting us on social media, the YouTube channel, Patreon, and more. Our top 3 conversation starters from our Facebook group page, True Hill Trinity. Coming in at number 3 is Jermaine Packman. Coming in at number 2 is Stewie Palmer. And number 1, of course, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. Our Patreon backers, you got Vala B, Alan Weinstein, Nick Jackson again, Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, who was with us last week. Thanks so much to Professor Chris for joining us. Austin K, You My Boy Blue, Yadi, Robert, Steve Salvage, Antoine, Fifth Generation Carney, DJ Eric, Ladarius Brown, John, aka WrestleScopes, Dan Snide, Kobe, Toy Morgan, and Blue Eyes. We appreciate all of our Patreon backers, and we appreciate Jeremy for joining us on the show. But you have your own show, and I want to get a plug in for that very early. Lost in the Midcard podcast has been on hiatus. It returns this coming week. Let the people know where they can go check that out.
Yeah, if you just go to the Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, there'll be links on SP3's Twitter, my Twitter at JB Huskers. It's a show that Matt and I started in 2015. We met at SummerSlam in 2011. We were at a THQ event for the WWE game that Randy Orton was on the cover. We got to meet guys like Zack Ryder, Randy Orton, Alex Riley hung out with us for a while, so it was pretty cool. And then we just started BSing on Twitter, and he's like, you know what, we should start a show. And so we
That's
started.
How it happens.
Right? And
that's how it happens.
We started in 2015, did about 300 episodes. I started doing a lot more work on camera with Sid and Rick and a bunch of other people, and he had taken off in the wrestling writing world, so we both were kind of busy, and but we did get over 300 episodes, and we haven't had one since October, so it's almost been a year. And so we were supposed to come back Monday, but some circumstances have pushed that back to the 10th, I believe now. So we'll be returning on the 10th, kind of like a de facto Monday Night Raw pre-show. We're going to go from 7 Eastern, 6 Central, and basically go right up until Monday Night Raw. And it's going to be a different kind of format than the 300 episodes you may see on our YouTube channel, which you can also check out what we did over the past 8 years. You can check that out. Just search for Lost in the Midcard on there. Our very first episode was kind of funny. It was the 2015 Royal Rumble where Roman Reigns got booed and The Rock could not save him.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Very
that
nice
was our
memory.
debut.
Memory to go back to. Yeah.
That was our debut.
Love to see it. Love to hear it. And definitely check out Lost in the Midcard podcast. Subscribe to the Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel over there. Me and Rick are there on Tuesdays, as well as either Thursdays or Fridays. And now you got Jeremy and Matt over on Mondays coming up on October 10th. But let's get into to what we missed. Let's get right into it with AEW Dynamite this week. They did 990,000 viewers for the show, and this was another jam-packed show, even though there was a lot of people missing due to the Hurricane Ian. We want to send our thoughts and prayers to anyone who was affected by Hurricane Ian. And before we get into Dynamite, I would be amiss if I didn't mention at the top of the show, RIP to a legend in the wrestling business, the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, Antonio Inoki. It was announced during last night's SmackDown that Inoki passed away at the age of 79. He was the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, had an infamous WWE title reign that was not recognized, defeating Bob Backlund back in the day. He also is a WWE Hall of Famer. So many memories with Antonio Inoki, such an integral part of Japanese pro wrestling lore and pro wrestling history in general. And of course, because we do recognize pop culture, on the show as well, we got to send our RIP to rap legend Coolio as well.
Yeah.
So any thoughts or comments on Inoki and Coolio losing them this week? Jeremy, Krissy?
Well, Inoki, I don't know. Would you say he's the guy that kind of credited the pro wrestling world of the United States to the Japanese culture of pro wrestling? I mean, he's probably the first one to cross over, and obviously starting a legendary company that is followed by a lot of people today. There's even a division here in the United States now with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and the guy was a legend, and it's kind of interesting because he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, but yet they don't recognize the title reign. But at the same time, there are so many great things that he brought to the sport inside the ring and outside of the ring. True legend. And Coolio, man, I mean, when It Takes a Thief came out, I think I was 15. I think it was 94 is when that came out. And man, that whole album was just completely amazing. And I got to see him live in the I love the 90s tour, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, with like Salt and Pepper, Toad Loop,
Nice.
Vanilla Ice. That was a lot of fun to see, and so it's at least I got to see him one more time before he passed. I was sad. That was kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, I was.
And so that was definitely they definitely put on Gangsta's Paradise at the wedding last night, and we all jammed out to it.
I look forward. I'm going to a wedding myself this weekend, and I'm gonna definitely request Gangsta Paradise. The first hip hop.
It must be a wedding weekend, guys.
On the Billboard,
right?
On the billboards, that was the first. That was the first hip hop track on the number one that reached number one on the billboards.
Really?
Now look at you with your history, friend.
Gotta learn these things, man.
Casey Kasem over here.
Passed away at 59, man. That's really young. That's really young to pass away. So
yeah, and like
yeah,
they were Vanilla Ice said that they're still doing their tour. They do that yearly over the summer, and so like he literally just performed a few days ago, and everybody's like, oh, he's fine. So
yeah, it's just something is happening where people seem fine one day, and then you get a call and like, yeah, they're not here. You were like, but I was just with them.
Yeah, right.
I was literally just with the person. We were chopping it up. They looked perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening, but and I feel like the people are getting younger and younger by the day.
Yeah, I mean, you live hard sometimes. I mean, look at Eddie Guerrero. Lived hard and he got clean, but the body gave up. So maybe that's that kind of situation.
That's all. Yeah, you're right. You're
59,
right,
man.
Yeah,
59. That's
That's
only 16 years away from me, man. That's not
when
that
we
long.
When we were little, we would say, "Oh my God, that's so old." But now, as an adulthooding, it's really hard. And you look at it, and you're like, "Wow, that's so young." Like, I'm not that far from that age. Was like, wow, like that's craziness,
Yeah, it's so true. So definitely wanted to share our thoughts and our prayers out to the family, fans, friends of Antonio Inoki and Coolio, who we lost this week. But let's get into AEW Dynamite as we start what we missed. The show featured It did 990,000 viewers, so it broke the 5-week streak of over 1 million viewers for the show. And it featured a main event of Chris Jericho going up against Bandido, with Jericho getting the win with the Lion Tamer in a great main event. A fantastic performance from Bandido, who looked like a man possessed. He was wrestling to get a contract with AEW, it seemed like, and Jericho getting the win, though, in the end. Post-match, Jericho staked his claim to desecrate everything Ring of Honor, starting with attacking Bobby Cruise and challenging Bryan Danielson for a title match on October 12th in Toronto. Speaking of Bryan Danielson, he defeated Matt Menard, Daddy Magic of the Jericho Appreciation Society, after Danielson crashed the Jericho Appreciation Society celebration for Jericho that saw Daniel Garcia have enough of the sports entertainment BS after Chris Jericho got him a purple bucket hat that made him look like a Spanish LL Cool J. John, we also
love the purple suits, though. The suits were fire.
The Jericho Pajama Society.
Yes, the pajama party was hot. I wanted. I was mad I didn't get one. I really wanted to be a part of it.
We had John Moxley. He defeated New Japan Pro Wrestling's Juice Robinson of Bullet Club in a pretty solid bout. Post-match, Hangman Adam Page confronted Mox before MJF, who watched the match from the skybox, interrupted, but he was attacked by Wheeler Yuta ahead of their showdown next week on AEW's 3rd year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. And we had Saraya, who cut a rough
Saraya or Saraya? Which one?
Saraya.
So Saraya. Okay,
Saraya.
so we definitely said it wrong on Server Facing Hill. Okay, sorry.
I think Excalibur said it wrong last week.
Saraya cut a rough first promo with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, interrupting her. Great line that she said she put her neck on the line. Unlike hers, her neck is strong enough. Great line. Before Toni Storm defeated Serena Deeb in a really good
so
match.
Good.
That pile
so
driver
good.
was sweet.
To retain the AEW Interim Women's World Championship. Let's start with you, Miss Krssi Luv. What stood out the most for you from AEW Dynamite this week?
The Serena Deeb's match with Toni Storm was fantastic. I think Serena Deeb's needs to get her flowers even more. People need to give this lady more and more credit. I love the Jericho's appreciation. I needed to be at the pajama party. I want a purple one. I want to be down so bad.
We want pizza.
I mean, I don't need the pizza, but I definitely want the outfit for sure.
You want the Luigi Primo made pizza. Absolutely.
Hey, I got the pizza here.
So there you go. Someone's going to get some pizza. Jeremy, what about you? What stood out the most for you? Or what would you say was like a low light from Dynamite this week?
Well, what stood out was obviously the main event. Bandido and Jericho just tore it up. I think off camera, Bandido and Tony Khan hugged, so I have a feeling he's probably going to get signed eventually. But the visual of Bandido bleeding through his white mask was
his white KKK mask. The white hood. Sorry.
Well, damn. Okay.
I mean, let's call a spade, friends. I love Bandido, but Jesus, that was the wrong choice of mask to wear, friends.
You didn't like the white.
I mean, the white coat just doesn't.
I didn't know there were Mexicans in the KKK.
That's exactly what my thought was. I was like, well, damn.
That suplex was so sweet, just holding that thing up. Crowd pop for that. That whole thing, that was just a great main event. I didn't know how it would go. I know Bandido can go and I know Jericho can go, but you just don't know how they're going to mesh well together. And I love how he said he's going to tear down Ring of Honor. A lot of people think Danielson's going to win this title. I don't know, because there's a great story. Yeah, there's a great story. There are so many people that have won that world title that are in AEW. You got Christopher Daniels, you got Adam Cole, you got so many people that he can go after to, and Ian Riccaboni better get some bodyguards, because saw what happened to Bobby Cruise. I don't know if that Saraya thing was put together last minute and that's why it was so disjointed. I don't know what happened there. That was just, I don't know if it was nerves and rust or if it was last minute with the hurricane stuff. I don't know, but that was rough.
So can we just, when you watch Certain Face, we break it down a little bit more, but I feel like one of two things did happen. Yes, it was very cringeworthy to watch her, and I feel like she was just drowning. However, I think the other ladies came out, even though there were only like a few of them, because they was like, yes, bring all the ladies out. But then most of the ladies were not there because of what happened. They couldn't get their flights. Granted, let's look at the positive part of what happened. It gave these ladies more time than they usually do, right?
Yeah.
They had their first lumberjack match. They never did that before. So let's look at that part. I feel like they were also missing Jade is a part of the women's group. She should have been out there with them. The baddies. You had more women that should have been out there to like maybe help her uplift this division. This part of the division that's not being really seen or nor heard. So you have to kind of like tweak it and break it down a little bit. Yes, she was nervous. Most of the people don't even know who she is. Probably they know her as Paige and not Saraya. So you got to kind of like tweak it, but also the crowd didn't really give much neither. They were like dead. They were dead in the water. They were like not giving. You can't feed off me if I'm not. They're not doing anything. So that's what made it even worse too.
I felt like the crowd gave her a good response when she came out. It's just
that's
the
it.
Promo, she just seemed rusty and off. I can't blame the crowd for that. She just sounded rusty and off. She was messing up words, and she even said on the mic, "I'm a little bit rusty."
Yeah.
So I can't blame the crowd if they just sit on their hands after that, because they did give her a pop when she came out.
Well, thankfully, the match kind of maybe it probably didn't overshadow it. People are going to focus on the negative there, but at least the match that delivered afterwards, it was great to see a lumberjack match. You don't even see that in AEW hardly, and to do it in a women's match was great. And then they delivered. I mean, that pile driver to end it was sweet. Yes. Those are two great women. Serena Deeb is I don't know if she gets enough credit for how great she is in the ring, and hopefully she gets the championship, whether Ring of Honor or AEW one of these days. Hopefully, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but she definitely deserves a title run somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Even if it's like the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, I wouldn't mind that at all with Serena Deeb. And about Jericho with Dragon, I don't understand how anyone could think Dragon's going to win this. If Dragon was going to be the one to beat Jericho for the ROH World Championship, it wouldn't be the first match of the storyline. Right. Yeah. Like I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that Jericho's gonna beat Bryan. I don't agree with doing it so soon, because this is like 6 weeks between 3 matches, and this is not something I'm used to with AEW. Even though their second match was better than their first match, I think it's too soon to go back around to that. He could have started with somebody else on this beating former Ring of Honor champions, because there's so many people on this roster from AEW that are former Ring of Honor champions and guys outside that they can get, like someone like Matt Taven, whose deal is almost up with Impact Wrestling. Davey Richards is available. He works with MLW, but he kind of works wherever he wants to be. So and then of course you got, like Annika said in the chat here, she really wants to see Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho, which I would love to see that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I listed
longest reigning ROH world champion versus the guy who wants to destroy ROH. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, I listed it on Wednesday during Dynamite. There was at least 8 or 9 former world champions that are easily accessible to AEW. So there's a lot that they can do with this story. And my co-host Matt thinks Danielson's going to win. I'm like, that just doesn't make sense.
Nah, because too early. Like
there's so much of a story to tell here.
Yeah, it's too soon. If this was the Seattle show in January and it was Bryan versus Jericho, I would say Bryan's going to win. But it's also Toronto, the home country. As Chris Jericho said, Toronto to some country.
Should just say that.
but he's gonna win in Canada. I don't see him losing. And Frantic Row with a good shout. Homicide, who works with NWA, he's another guy that they can bring in for a one-off. So many different options. I don't see how anyone could think that Bryan's going to win this early. But there was news coming out of AEW Dynamite, a lot of news, but especially before AEW Dynamite. According to a report by Fightful Select on Sunday, wrestler Buddy Matthews they said could be done with AEW, All Elite Wrestling, for the time being, or on his way out of the company altogether. According to sources familiar with the situation, the finish for the no DQ match between Sting and Darby Allin versus the House of Black at last Friday's AEW Rampage Grand Slam was done as a way to write off Matthews of AEW TV for the moment. The finish saw the Great Muta come out to assist Sting, and then he spit the green mist in Buddy Matthews' face. This allowed Sting to hit the Scorpion Death Drop for the pinfall win. While it's unknown whether or not Matthews is being released, it's been rumored that Matthews has shown dissatisfaction with his situation in AEW multiple times over the past 2 months. One source expressed belief after the TV tapings in Queens that the show was Matthews' last night with AEW. However, this has not yet been confirmed. Additionally, Fightful reports that Buddy Matthews appeared to address his situation over the last weekend at a Fight Life pro wrestling event. During the show, Matthews told the crowd, and I quote, "Unfortunately, tonight I'm going to be the bearer of some unfortunate news. As everyone knows, the House of Black has some issues lately. As all the members of the house, I speak beyond the wall. We want to thank you for being members of the house. Unfortunately, I, like some of the other members, need to go away for a while. I need to recalibrate. I need to figure out some things. As my brother Malakai once said, this isn't goodbye. This is see you later." As previously noted, Fightful Select reported earlier this month that former House of Black member Malakai Black was granted his conditional release from AEW. Fightful's report indicates that Black cannot wrestle for WWE for quite some time, and Black said on a public statement on his social media that he plans to take a few months to recalibrate over the last 2 decades of his life. According to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio on Sunday, both Matthews and Black want to go to WWE and wanted to leave AEW. He confirmed that Matthews is indeed gone from the company. Both Black and Matthews have significant others in WWE, of course, as Black is married to Selena Vega and Matthews is dating Rhea Ripley. And then on Monday night, we got a twist in the tale as Malakai Black took to social media. He did an IG live that basically addressed his current situation within AEW, within the wrestling world, as well as the reports. During the live stream, Black claimed that he was not leaving AEW and that he'd be back in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. Additionally, Black said the length of his AEW contract was not for 5 years. He said, and I quote, "All right, so guys, how many times do I have to tell people if you can't even get the years of my contract right, which is a very minuscule detail, then how are you expecting, or how are people expecting that these guys know very intimate private detailing in regards to my private business? My contract is not 5 years. My contract's never been 5 years. It's all bullshit. It's all lies. So, I posted a statement, and even you, of course, all of you have read my statement, because even if you read my statement, it clearly reads that even release is in quotations, meaning the author doesn't agree with the terminology." He then said, in regards to receiving death threats over the rumors, he said, "In a time where I'm supposed to take care of myself and kind of wind down, I have to deal with this kind of stupid bullshit from people who are not in the business and pretending that they are in the business with all their sources. The worst thing about it is for the past 3 days, nothing but weird, hateful comments. And today, even 2 death threats. You wish death upon a person because of what someone else had said, and then say that it's confirmed. It's not confirmed. Clearly, it's not confirmed. None of it is confirmed. There's no confirmation because I haven't left. That's what this whole thing was about. I've been given time off by Tony to take care of a bunch of stuff. All this stuff has been cleared up like weeks ago. All this stuff was weeks ago." Black, on his time off staying in AEW, he said, "I'll be back in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. As I said, I'm taking some time off, just taking some time off. That's it. There's no conspiracy to this, just taking some time. All right. I will see you guys. Take care of yourself. Stop believing any of other narrative. Right now, I've debunked it. There's nothing going on. Don't believe these people. Yeah, don't write. Don't believe it. Nothing. I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Everything is fine. You'll see me right back with AEW pretty soon. I'm just going to take some time. That's it." And he said on being an instrument of tribalism between WWE and AEW fans, he says, don't make me some instrument of this for this whole tribalism, us versus them thing, because I don't do that stuff. That whole team WWE versus team AEW, I don't play that. Meanwhile, Buddy Matthews on Twitter on Monday, he put up a GIF that said fake, referring to the reports as well. Dave Meltzer reported more details on the situation on Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio. According to Meltzer, Tony Khan apparently instituted a new doctrine in the last couple of days that nobody's getting released. So either Black nor Matthews are getting released from the company as a result of Khan's new doctrine. Meltzer reported that both Black and Matthews wanted to leave AEW and were looking for a way out of the company. It was previously reported that some higher-ups in AEW believed to have an if they want to go, let them go mindset. However, AEW apparently changed its stance on this because if the shoe was on the other foot in WWE, they likely would not grant talents under long-term contracts their release. In the statement he released on September 18th on his Instagram, Malakai Black did confirm that he did request his release. In regards to Black having a 5-year deal earlier in July, AEW President and CEO Tony Khan was the one who said that on Busted Open Radio. So, a lot to unpack there. Jeremy Bennett, what do you think about the original report, and then how Malakai Black kind of flipped it on its head, and now the new doctrine of no AEW releases moving forward? Do you agree with it or do you not, Jeremy?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, obviously you don't want someone to go to your competitor right away, but at the same time, it's pretty sad that he had to take time to set the record straight while he's taking time to try to get better. And so that was kind of sad that he had to actually go and do that on Instagram, but I'm kind of glad he did, so he could just set the record straight and get rid of the speculation. But this was bound to happen. You have such a big roster, so this is gonna happen. People are gonna be unhappy because you can't please everybody when that roster is so big. It sounds like they're both coming back, so just give them time.
Yeah, and I hate the fact that he has to deal with all of this. If you're dealing, I'm one person that I've gone on record and said the timing of these reports and the timing of him being demoralized or dealing with mental health issues was a little suspicious. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go out of my way to send him death threats because he's leaving a company that I like, or going to a company I don't like, or going to a company I do like. I just don't understand all of that. What do you think about, Buddy Matthews and Malakai Black, what they said, and the fact that they're staying in AEW? Is this asking for trouble to have people that may or may have not wanted to go from the company still there, Krissy?
Well, I feel like everyone also needs their time and peace to get themselves together. You know what I'm saying? So he asked for, I need some time to figure out myself so I can get away. So with the rumors coming out saying that he wants to be released is a lot. People always going to have something to say or whatever. But I feel like once they get their time needed or whatever, and they get themselves, they just have to be patient. They was with a whole bunch of people on another roster at another company. So it's the same stuff. So it's it's the same spiel. You was just chilling over there. You just got a little bit more time and TV on this one at this point. But that also happened at the beginning when he was over there too. So it's like a balance. You know what I'm saying? Whatever company you go to, you have to share time. There's so many people working. Everyone is working. It's but so many places everyone can go. You have to wait it out and fill it out. Now that they have the trios belts, maybe there'll be more things for them to do as a trio. Or, they can probably have a little different things where now they can go and follow Pac and have, fights with him now. So it's different places where they can now go and have more time to wrestle, if that makes sense.
Hey, if he's back and the Death Triangle still have the trios titles, that's a perfect. Yeah, man, run that back. Run that back. That match.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted them to win.
Obviously, WWE is a lot better option now with obviously as
People
Aleister Black.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, he thrived. Buddy really didn't get going, but he did get a lot of great momentum working with Seth Rollins and
Right.
such, and delivered a great match with Roman Reigns. And so, obviously, if your significant others are over there, that makes a lot of sense that you may want to go over there. But at the same time, I think Malakai put that to bed with that Instagram, that he is not looking to go anywhere, and
Right.
hopefully they can build off of it once they return.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he put to bed he wasn't trying to go anywhere. He put to bed that he is going somewhere. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
I do not know for sure if he asked for his release or he's not. It's been very confusing with all this news. So I'm sure we will continue to talk about this next week for sure. But there's more news regarding this topic with WWE going after AEW talent. Fightful Select had confirmed that Swerve Strickland was contacted by WWE and noted that he referred them to his attorney and had no interest in returning to WWE at the time.
He went.
He was like, oh, you want to read from Destiny's Child? I'm Beyonce and crazy.
Right? Yeah. No, you don't.
What
Yeah.
the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. Exactly. I would do the same shit too. F all of y'all.
I would replay that clip. I would replay that clip. Shut up. I can't remember that promo. I can't remember who they were talking to, but it might have been the Acclaimed, and I got it saved somewhere. But yeah, it was funny. It was like Swerve was like, "Shut up."
It was suggested to the site that he was contacted regarding the plans to reform Hit Row with Top Dollar, Ashanti D. Adonis, B-Fab, and the B-Fab return that happened in August. According to the report regarding Black, the site says that several upper card members of AEW management believed that he wanted to go to WWE, and Black reportedly at least told one WWE talent that he wished he was back in WWE. AEW officials believe Black's situation had been smoothed
Black
over.
Or Swerve? Which one?
Black.
Black.
I said regarding Black. The site says that several upper card. No, I was talking about Swerve, and then I transitioned to this regarding Malakai Black.
I'm like.
The site
I know about medication, but Jesus, I'm not that like sleepy and drowsy where it's like you listening. I'm like, I know what I heard. I'm just okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Several upper card members of AEW management believed that Malakai Black wanted to go back to WWE, and Black reportedly had at least one WWE talent that he wished that he said he wished that he was back in WWE, and AEW officials believe Black's situation had been smoothed over before All Out took place. At least one source in the company believes that Black and Buddy Matthews will be back in AEW within a few months. Fightful also shot down a rumor regarding a Bobby Fish that we talked about last week. He had asked Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to return to WWE with him. Several sources in AEW have adamantly denied this, and WWE sources say there have been no talks between Fish and the company. Basically, they don't give a fuck about you, bro. Keith Lee has also not been contacted by WWE, despite rumors otherwise. Finally, there's no word on whether Miro was contacted by WWE, but he has not asked for his AEW release. In the latest episode of Bobby Fish's Undisputed podcast, he did talk about the rumors, and he said, "Guess what, boys? After over 25 years or something like that in the wrestling business, I don't know how contracts work myself. I guess what was most troublesome and amusing at the same time to me was how many outlets picked up on what was, because if there's anybody who knows that it's totally fabricated information, it would be me. Adam, Kyle, Hunter, like the people that it's talking about who didn't do any of the things, so none of it is real. Even people like Jim Cornette picked up on it and commented on it, and Jim and I always had a great relationship. If I'm being honest, Jim hurt my feelings a little bit by believing some bullshit about me so easily, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But that's what sucks the most about it. The people that write this stuff, there's no checks and balances. There are no ramifications. When you are in the wrong, therefore, they continue to write whatever it is they're going to write, and it gets picked up by whomever. The fact or fiction line doesn't matter, and the whole thing is absurd. Dave Meltzer had a further report, more details on WWE contacting former talents working for the AEW. According to Meltzer, it's pretty blatant that they came after so many guys because it was multiple guys. Meltzer added that WWE contacted most of the people who had worked there in AEW. With regards to what names WWE reached out to, Meltzer said basically every name that you would think of that they would go after that had a previous relationship with Triple H was contacted and told, try to get your release and come in. This reportedly led to several wrestlers informing Tony Khan, they contacted us, we have no intention of going. However, several wrestlers did inform Tony Khan that they wanted their release from AEW. All the wrestlers who requested their release from the company were denied, so no one is leaving the company at the moment. I mean, I thought it was funny because I said this earlier in the week to Rick, that Rick tried to like debate if it was contract tampering when the first report came out. And
contract tampering? Like, what is that? Like, what are you saying?
Well, it's contract tampering. What WWE did.
Sports,
if you go back, if you go to a person who has a contract with a different company and you say, well, figure out a way to get out of that contract and come here, that's contract tampering. If you tamper with someone's contract, that it's with somebody else.
That's a big no-no in the NBA. It's a big no-no in the NFL.
The Knicks are getting investigated about it right now. It's a big no-no in all major sports. I think the fact that wrestling doesn't have a legitimate governing body, that's what WWE got by with it, with all of this. But what do you think about all this contract tampering that WWE did in regards to AEW talent? And was Tony Khan's response during the press conference now justified knowing this information, Jeremy?
Man, I don't, obviously it's been what Triple H has done since the beginning of taking over creative, is trying to get everybody just basically undoing everything Vince did. And a lot of that was firings. And he's done a good job so far with undoing a lot of things. He's getting ready to kill the Maximum Male Models and bring back LA Knight. Yeah. And, and then everybody else that he brought back. I mean, if Cassie Lee wasn't pregnant right now, I bet the Iconics would be back in WWE right now and even strengthen that tag team division of the women, because, they should not have been fired. There's a lot of people that should not have been fired, and Triple H did fix some of that. He can't fix it all, though, because obviously they're elsewhere for a long time. And who knows if they're happy or not? We don't know. Everybody likes to, oh my God, Miro liked this tweet. He wants out, we don't know what they're thinking. Even though you like to tweet, that don't mean shit. So.
I love it. Miss Krssi Luv, what do you think about this contract tampering? And who do you think, outside of the people that have already been mentioned or talked about, who do you think in AEW would want to go back to WWE right now?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Contract tampering, something I just learned today. I was today years old when I found out about it. But WWE is messy, so I'm not surprised at them doing this. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand what Papa H is doing, because he's trying to right some wrongs, if that makes sense. Because certain people that were released shouldn't have been released, and we have all said, and we were like, why would you do that? Like, you had something that was so good and you lost them and you let it go. Someone that probably wants to go back. Wow. Ooh.
Got a good answer here from the Negro Buck Nick Jackson, saying definitely Andrade. He doesn't.
Yeah, I want to say he probably would love to go back. That's a good one, because now of course his wife is not going anywhere. I think she's loyal to
she's loyal to the soil.
She's loyal to the soil. She's not going anywhere. So I think he would probably try to go back over there and then put him and Zelina back together, because that was golden. That was golden. So that's thank you, Nick, for your answer. You gave me that answer. Great. I'll steal your answer. But,
I think that's it. That should be the consensus answer. On the other hand,
I think Miro wants to go back.
Yeah, Miro's already said he doesn't want to go back.
I don't think
another one.
I don't think Danielson wants to go back either.
No.
I think I think they're all. Everyone else, I feel like is
Annika
all
says
good.
FTR, which I think is just people that over exaggerate.
No, FTR does not want to go back.
So,
I don't.
like.
think
Why
They
would
do
they want to
not,
go
no.
back when they have 3 sets of titles?
No,
That's
the guys
not a
that
good answer.
the guys that make sense are the guys that got pushed at NXT. Malakai
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
You know, Miro wasn't really a Triple H guy. I mean, he wasn't really in NXT much. He was more of a Vince guy.
He's a Vince guy. Yep.
Then you know, Buddy Murphy, who knows? You know,
But
Malakai Black and Buddy Murphy.
Others over there too. So
Yeah,
that's why
where it
that makes
sense.
more sense for them all to be together with their spouses. So yeah.
And you
even,
know, maybe the women, maybe Athena, you know,
I wouldn't say. I think Athena's only been there a short amount of time, and I think she's a little bit more patient. Will Chisholm makes a good point. Ruby Soho might be one of them.
But
she's
both of those girls,
right
both of those girls were pretty good under Triple H. Well, not at least Athena, Ember Moon, and NXT.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. She was probably booked as the worst babyface woman. Top woman that Triple H ever had during his time in NXT. He had a good character, and then he decided to give her a mic, and he ruined it.
Oh, ouch.
We got to see. I'm even asking Annika why for 1 belt only versus 50 or 11, and to answer Annika, but when was the last time they were on TV? Last week. So I love when people ask questions and it's literally last week. Maybe you don't remember that they were on last week, but they were definitely on the show last week.
The whole division was there almost.
Yeah, like I don't understand why people tend to forget stuff and just create their own take to be different sometimes. I don't know.
I also think the people that are there right now, they're loving the whole mixture of like ROH, New Japan. Like you have all these plethora of like wrestling companies at your forefront, just like at your display of like being on TV.
And you're not on the road 300 days.
Yeah.
Hello. Exactly. That's like they don't have to go out. They don't have pay-per-views every freaking month. They're not doing everything. Like they have a good work schedule where they can do these things and be still like a regular person, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Did they wrestle? No, they did a promo, which is okay. Yeah, sometimes the people don't want to wrestle every single week, but they just wrestled at All Out, which was 3 weeks ago. They're wrestling for New Japan this coming weekend. They wrestled for New Japan last week, so that might be why they haven't wrestled for AEW, because they've been wrestling for other companies, and that's another benefit of being in AEW and not WWE, that FTR can do all the companies they want to do. They can do an independent show in Brooklyn, here in New York in a few weeks, and have Bret Hart in their corner. That's something that only Triple H calling Bret Hart, which Triple H calling Bret Hart,
that was suspect.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
just like. Oh, let me call him because he was just on the other show last week. Let him come over here so he can get some more rating. Like it's very messy. They're messy over there. We
all know that Triple H and Bret Hart don't have the best relationship. So yeah. Yes, as a team, they appeared on the show as a team, and they wrestled.
She's really trying to fight y'all on this.
I know she's really trying to challenge it.
Annika's like, no, Sid, you're wrong. Annika's like, she's a true girl. Like she's gonna fight you to the T, friend. I
know. That's how it is with my wifey sometimes. I swear, you women refuse to take.
Annika, what's your sign, boo? I need to know. I need to know what sign you are.
But we have more news.
I'm feeling very fire energy from you, friend. Feeling the fire.
We also got to talk about some of the news coming out of AEW because it was affected by Hurricane Ian. Tony Khan said before AEW Dynamite this week that he is allowing any roster members and staff who were affected by Hurricane Ian to skip this week's Dynamite. Khan posted to an email that he sent. He said he's posted in the tweet that he sent an email to those in AEW, but wanted to make sure that it got out to everyone in case they missed in their email writing for everyone in AEW. In case you missed our email, anyone worried about Hurricane Ian affecting your travel or home or your family life, it's voluntary to come to TV this week. Anyone affected by the hurricane can take care of business at home, and we hope to see you all next week. A couple of big changes reportedly had to be made to this week's episode of AEW Dynamite due to Hurricane Eden. According to Fightful Select, Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe were scheduled to be on Wednesday's show, but were unable to make it to the event due to travel issues caused by the hurricane. Details on exactly how Strickland and Joe were going to be used aren't yet known. Strickland's partner Keith Lee did a backstage segment with the Acclaim on the broadcast, but apparently Swerve was supposed to be a part of that as well. The Wrestling Observer newsletter adds that Jake Hager was another name that was intended to be at the taping but was unable to attend, as was visible on TV as he wasn't with the JAS during their segment. And the report notes that the tapings did have to be written and that AEW advertised less matches and segments than usual due to it being clear there would be possible issues for the show. It was noted that Joe's absence meant that it stopped a plan for a new feud for War Joe. Him and Wardlow's tag team had to be stalled due to Joe's absence. So a lot of big stuff had to be blocked, but a lot of big stuff did happen on AEW Dynamite, including some noteworthy performances by guys who aren't signed by the company, which has then segued to possible opportunities being opened up, as Bandido could be sticking around in AEW. And he's reportedly been offered a full-time deal. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the former ROH champion was offered his contract after he had his matchup with Chris Jericho backstage. It was noted that Bandido was offered the contract after his debut, but there is no confirmation on whether he has signed with the company. Of course, he lost the ROH World Championship in a unification match against Jonathan Gresham at Supercard of Honor in April. And PW Insider reports that AEW also has interest in Juice Robinson after his appearance. There's massive interest in having Juice come back to AEW as often as possible, making him a regular. He currently works for New Japan Pro Wrestling and the Bullet Club. So
there's a guy that won't go to There's a guy that's not a Triple H guy.
No, probably not.
DJ Parker. Who remembers that guy?
CJ Parker, the hippie when he was in WWE. Do you think there is room and a spot for Bandido or Juice Robinson on this roster, Jeremy?
If you can get yourself going with ROH, I mean, television deals and things like that.
Yeah, get them on a TV deal. Yep.
He's a free agent.
That makes sense now. I'm sorry. I was reading the comment. You're okay. Are you a July Cancer friend? Please answer me. Thank you. That's the debate right there. That's why she did that to you, Sid. Yep. It's the cancer. Cancer's a crazy one. 2, they're very emotional and they're very passionate. They don't care what anyone is. She doesn't care. She don't give a shit what we're saying. She's going to talk all her shit and she's going to say, no, it's definitely my way or the highway, friend.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Krssi said
See? Oh, I had it right. See?
Yep.
I know.
Right there in the chat.
There you
but
go.
Yeah,
yes, Krssi.
Jeremy, what do you think they have a spot for Bandido or Juice?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, they have to have if they could get ROH off the ground, yeah. Because right now AEW's got such a large roster, and so it's going to be very hard to fit people into AEW. But if you've got finally some plans for ROH, obviously Bandido
put them in ROH.
Yeah, I think Juice could be good in AEW. So once you move a bunch of people over to ROH, I think Juice would be a good AEW guy.
I agree with the Bandido. Juice. He was in there with the best wrestler of this year, in my opinion, so far, Jon Moxley, and it wasn't anything other than pretty solid. So
yeah,
yep.
If he had a great match, I would say yeah, and that's why I'm saying yeah for Bandido, because Chris Jericho's having the best year of his career in a long time, but he went out there and had a blast with Jericho.
And Juice has been in Impact before, so Juice could go there.
Yeah.
He appeared on Impact. He was in Chris Bay and East Austin's corner this week on Impact. So.
Yeah.
But see, I think that's the whole good thing about like being with this company. Like you can just go, like they're not mad if you said, "Hey, I'm going to just do this like show over here one day and then come back and do a show over there." Like I feel like it's so like you have this open door policy, like the forbidden door has been open and everyone can go in and out and this way, that way. It makes it so much good where you're not like feeling the stress of like being somewhere you're not working, if that makes sense. So you don't have to be on AEW. You know what I'm saying? You could be on it, all these other shows and it's still get TV time, still get paid, and still get to work and do what you love to do.
Matt Cardona is a great example of that.
He's definitely not going back. He's
done all this stuff in the independents, and then
look at him now.
Is just outside of the top 10 in the PWI 500 this year.
Yeah, he did his thing for sure this year, so he deserved that placement.
But that made me look at him even more now, because no one was really paying attention to him when he was doing the stuff before, when he was just on in WWE. Now it makes you look at him like, where was this person at? Was he always in there and they just didn't let him out?
Yeah, he tapped into something new when he went to GCW. So for sure, Matt Cardona is kind of one of the success stories of being released.
Did not realize he could be that good of a heel.
Yeah.
Right.
In a post on Twitter after Dynamite, Saraya commented on her promo and commentary on Wednesday's episode of AEW Dynamite, admitting that she was rusty. On a good note, she says, "I'm so proud of the women yesterday. Not only did they get more than 5 minutes to have a match, it was the first ever lumberjack match. A woman on commentary and a good portion of the roster being showcased. That's a win. Even if I was a little rusty during her promo."
That's what I said.
During her promo on Dynamite, Saraya made a mention of having a boss who actually listens, which led to people believing she was taking a shot at WWE. In a post on Twitter, she also said that she doesn't hate WWE at all and thought that the tribalism among fans was bizarre. She wrote, "I say how my current boss listens to me, and all of a sudden it's, so you hate WWE. No, I don't. I love my time there. I appreciate the time and the opportunities I was given, especially in my NXT days with Triple H. I'm happy now in AEW, though. Tribalism in IWC is so bizarre to me." That post was later deleted, but she did follow up with 2 more posts addressing her critics. Fightful Select has an update on Saraya's AEW contract as well. AEW's interest in Saraya dates back to as far as Starrcast 5 in Nashville in July, where she made an appearance. However, not many details were known about her debut until last week. According to sources close to the situation, Saraya reportedly signed a 3-year deal with AEW. It's unknown if any options are in place for the contract. The amount of money Saraya was signed for suggests that she'll be wrestling in some capacity for the company. It's still unknown if she's been cleared to return to the ring. Multiple wrestlers within AEW reportedly went to bat for Saraya and also put in good words for her. However, one AEW talent said that the former WWE Divas champion didn't need it since the company already had an interest in her when she became available. The talents Fightful spoke to are said to have come off as very excited for her joining the roster. So, notwithstanding the mess up on Dynamite, do you think that Saraya will have a match, and when do you think it will happen, Miss Krssi Luv?
I don't know, not right now. Give it a chance. I like her as like the person, or like the face, or like let's be the person. Let's like get these girls, or advocate for them per se. I don't want to see her in the ring yet. That's just me. I'd rather her be like an advocate for all the ladies and like have them again. We did a first women's lumberjack match. Let's advocate for something next week where we get maybe like 15 minutes or whatever for the women. Let's do something else. You understand what I'm saying? Like I don't need to rush it. I don't need to see her in a ring yet with anyone, to be honest. I just like the presence of her being there and like advocating for the women right now.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing that she can contribute. Be a voice backstage that can talk some sense, and that probably Tony Khan will listen to, as she said in her promo. But in our last bit of AEW news coming off of AEW Dynamite this week is the latest in the drama that is the Brawl Out Fallout Week 4 now, I think. Matt Jackson has resurfaced in a video posted to his Instagram story. Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks thanks fans for their support and said he would see them soon. He also spoke about the new Young Bucks sneakers, which are available now at champsports.com. He said, "You guys have always supported us through the years with all of our crazy projects. This one may be the most I'm excited about, definitely in the top 3. Thank you so much, guys, for everything for the last 18 years. You guys guys have supported us, and it's been so great to us. And I really can't wait to see you guys very soon. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that as of a few days ago, neither Kenny Omega nor the Young Bucks have heard back from All Elite Wrestling. The company has no plans to address anything in public. It's believed that the situation is on hold due to possible legal action. Until that is cleared up, things might not get resolved for some time. It was also reported there is a second holdup that is not clear at this time. So Elite is kind of in this kind of like purgatory at the moment, where they kind of have done the suspension, or the suspension that most everybody involved in the situation have done, the 2 weeks, and now they want to return and they can't because they might get sued by CM Punk, and CM Punk might sue the company.
Oh my god, I this is just ridiculous. This is like some messy. This is some bitch shit. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. No,
they're gonna have a match at War Games in WWE next year.
Here you go.
Look, this is ridiculous.
The Elite versus Punk's crew at
Punk,
Survivor Series.
Ace Steel, Larry the Dog, Ace Steel's wife. That's Punk's entourage. There you go. Punk's entourage versus the Elite.
AJ Lee.
Book it. Book it. Book it.
You said book it?
Book it.
Going back to Paige real quick, I think it's going to be Revolution against Britt Baker. I think they're setting up Britt Baker for her return match. Maybe Revolution, maybe not until the spring. But I agree. I like how you have that voice of the women there. But yeah, as this whole drama, geez, come on, let's just get it over with. It's weird, I guess. I guess we were maybe right about Punk all along.
Yeah, we tried to have the,
after 2014. I don't know.
MJF did warn us though. He really did.
Eddie Kingston was the first one who tried.
No, yeah, you're right. Eddie Kingston was the first one to say. You're right. He was like, "Yeah, I don't understand why y'all think that this person is such a good." But we really, we wanted to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like he came there, he had something, but what's his? Can someone tell me what his sign is too? Because I need to figure this out. Because this yes.
Well, while you figure that out, we'll move on to AEW
somebody give me
Rampage from last night. This was not the biggest noteworthy show due to the absences due to Hurricane Ian, kind of similar to SmackDown last night as well.
Yeah,
but we had the Acclaim. They picked up a big win in a 3-way matchup over Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade to successfully defend the AEW World Tag Team titles in a fun opener. You also had one of my favorite women's matches on TV this year, Jamie Hayter versus Willow Nightingale. That was a good
Willow. Sign Willow.
That was
Willow.
a good. Yes. You thinking about signing Bandido? I love
her.
Bandido, but sign Willow.
I have been a Willow stan since the first day you took me to. Y'all made me go to GCW. I've loved her since I've seen her there. She is everything. Her and Jamie, that was a great match. I was recording and I watched at the corner. I had to go back and rewatch it. That made Rampage. That was my match for Rampage.
That was definitely my match of the night for Rampage. 100%. Jeremy Hayter getting the win in that horse fight. And then in the main event, Roosh defeated John Silver in a very good main event. Post-match, AFO jumped Dark Order until Hangman Adam Page made the save and delivered a buckshot lariat to Jose, the assistant.
I would like to thank Tony Khan for listening to me, because I tweeted this out during Rampage last week that I wanted Silver and Roosh. And so thank you, Uncle Tony, for making that happen.
Nice.
See, he saw your tweet, Jeremy,
he did.
And he was like,
"Let's fucking go."
Exactly. Punk is a Scorpio, by the way.
Ooh,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Does it?
Scorpios
I don't know shit about
Scorpios are very mad people sometimes.
I don't know shit about I'll let you guys talk about that. I don't know shit about astrology.
I don't know much about Scorpios. Are they grudge holders too, like the Cancers?
Yes.
Okay, so then that makes sense then. Okay, then there we go then. So so once you cross them, and then there's no way of coming back to like the side of being good for them. Even if you say how many times you say I'm sorry.
Punk is a very butthurt person.
Right, I'm about to say he has lots of things that he needs to figure out. Yes,
like he's making fun of Colt having a bank account with his mother. If you look up the details, his net worth is $3 million.
What?
Yeah, like
Cabana,
I don't understand why having a bank account with
Cabana
your mother,
has money.
having a bank account with your mother is such a
They
bad
explained
thing.
it because his brother has one too. It's to help take care of the mother when she
Mother's
is
needs,
older.
It just makes sense to me. Like
Yeah.
I was like, why does he keep mentioning this? Like this is like I'm supposed to be like, oh my god, he's so horrible. He has a bank
Annika,
account with
knock
his
it off.
mother.
Was it like, I don't know. He obviously premeditated that going
Yeah,
in.
That was
I don't
rehearsed.
see anything
That
wrong
was
with that. I
definitely
mean, I'm not gonna do that with my mom because that's not me. But I can understand what they are doing to help make sure that she is okay. That's what children do.
It's weird, and that the whole situation's weird, and biting, and
I love
you
CM.
figured if
CM
everybody that would be biting in this thing would be Larry. But
well,
Yeah.
no, that didn't happen. CM is hilarious. She said he's mad and he can't fight. Just kick him while he's down, why don't you? Coming out of Rampage last night, before Rampage actually, in a post on Twitter, AEW CEO Tony Khan announced their latest official signing to the company as Roosh. He has officially signed a full-time deal with All Elite Wrestling. Roosh first appeared for the company back in May during Double or Nothing, and he had his match last night with John Silver. Khan, before Rampage, said it's official at Roosh Toro Blanco is All Elite. What a week for Roosh. Yesterday was his birthday. Today he's All Elite.
Nice.
And it's Roosh versus at Silver #1 tonight on Friday night. Hashtag AEW Rampage. Don't miss Friday night. Hashtag AEW Rampage on at TNT Drama at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central tonight.
thanks,
Is it your
Uncle Tony.
Excalibur talking voice?
Nah, I'm trying to do the Tony.
We got match number 1, then we got match number 2 here, then match number 3 is coming up. Right.
Nah, I'm trying to do my best Tony Khan so I can just be like,
That's fucking bullshit.
and also TNT programming listed for next Fridays. We got 4 hours of wrestling on a Friday night. Krssi Luv, Jeremy,
What?
currently as they have AEW Rampage listed for 10 p.m. Eastern time. Meanwhile, Battle of the Belts 4 is going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So Battle of the Belts will be live. It won't air on Saturday like it's done the first 3 editions of the show. As previously reported, AEW Rampage will be broadcasted live on Friday as well. So they're going to tape those shows back to back, and they'll be both live from Washington, D.C. next Friday. So
they're not taped.
Plenty
They're
of
going to be
wrestling.
live shows. Everything is so the people come in there for 10 p.m.
yes.
Thank God, because
Okay,
Battle of the
thank
Belts
God.
being taped is
Yeah, no, you can't.
Weird. Always weird.
I'm telling
Never
you,
liked
because Grand Slam tape Rampage was it was
That's too long on a Wednesday, my
it
dude.
was too long on a
Too
Wednesday.
long on a Wednesday.
And people left. People they didn't show it to y'all, but we was there and they left.
There was
I
a
seen
rush
it.
of people that left after the battle royal.
Yeah.
A rush of people. CM said, talking about CM Punk, says his read was as rehearsed as a Real Housewives reunion.
You know what, CM? She's right though.
God damn it, that's tough. And yes, Vala B with a good note here. AEW Rampage this week for the 3rd anniversary show will have a 15-minute overrun. So we get 2 hours and 15 minutes of Dynamite next week, not Rampage. So it's not 4 hours and 15 minutes like you previously said. Dynamite will have a 15-minute overrun on Wednesday. So 2 hours
That's
and
cool.
15 minutes of Dynamite.
I miss the old overrun.
Me too.
We get
Man,
the
you're not
NXT.
even Raw. Raw doesn't even do it anymore.
No.
They used
We
to-
get-
No,
we
they
get
don't.
it.
They finish at 11 on the dot. They don't even do it no more.
Yeah.
I mean,
We get it with
Don't
NXT.
get me started on SmackDown. SmackDown ends at 9:57.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's network. They got to get the local plugs in before the news and stuff.
I know.
Before
yeah,
it
like
used to end at 10 on the dot, but then lately, they
Yeah,
make it
I
11.
remember when SmackDown first went to Fox, they literally would end at 10 on the dot, and then immediately it was like
The news
"So
came
this,
on."
This time on the 10 o'clock news, like
Yes,
literally,
exactly.
there
Yep,
would be
it
no,
literally,
there would
yep,
be no
mhm.
dark, no black screen. It would
Nope.
literally go right into the news.
Exactly.
Can't really call NXT overrun because they always end at 9:07 or 9:07 my time, but yeah, they always end at 7 after, so it's not really an overrun. It's just
Well, no, it is an overrun because they didn't have that previously. They
do
literally
it every week though.
They do it every week, but that Raw did it every week. They never stopped calling.
Well, Raw it was always
right.
random when it would end though. Like NXT, it's always 9:00. It's always 7 after.
Nah, for like a consecutive years, and Raw would always end at like 11:05.
Yeah.
That was always it. They always had.
There were times where it got extended though, didn't it? Wasn't there like sometimes where it would go pretty long?
Yeah. Back in the day, for sure, because they always would run long with those Attitude Era stuff and Ruthless Aggression era type stuff. And yes, we should also mention before we move on from Rampage that Andrade will go one-on-one with the Dark Orders 10 on next show. It's going to be number 10's Mask versus Andrade's AEW career.
Oh, so this is way to get to leave?
About that, Jeremy, do you think it's a...
Oh, so this is actually happening. I didn't realize. I thought he was just making that. I thought he was just putting that in the chat.
Just putting it out there.
Well, see, I was gone.
No. That was announced on the show.
I was gone last night, so obviously I didn't see anything from last night. But obviously, 10. He's a work in progress with the Nightmare Factory. He's gonna lose. He'll lose his mask. He'll still be around. He's just gonna lose it. I mean, hell, he's on Sammy Guevara's vlog all the time without a mask, so it's not really gonna be. This is not really gonna be any sweat for him to lose his mask, and so, and what if he does win though? Holy shit. That would be something.
I'd be shocked, but I like Tony Khan using the online chatter to book matches and stipulations that matter. Ace is also correct in mentioning. Don't forget, Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory is next Friday, so we'll do predictions for that at the end of the show here. So don't worry, I did remember that. So 7 hours of wrestling.
7 hours now.
Some of it at the same time.
Gotta have those dual screens going on to watch Bound for Glory.
I don't get that Friday. I don't get Impact doing that stuff on Friday.
We've been talking, Krssi Luv could tell you, we've been talking about Impact Wrestling's choices on when they book their shows for a year now. They either book it on the same weekend as a WWE or AEW show, or usually the same day. And now they've even made it worse the last 3 months of booking it on a Friday during SmackDown and Rampage.
Yep.
Do you want wrestling fans to watch your show, Impact?
No.
Especially now that SmackDown's almost getting 2.5 million now.
Yeah.
And now you got football. College football is going to be on Fridays now. So you got all sorts of things that it makes no sense to have this on a Friday.
I will agree with Toe Clark, who says it's unfair trade though. AEW career or sweaty mask. When 10 said to put your career on the line, I was like, yo, Andrade, you need to renegotiate. You want more than his mask. Like, you should be winning more than that if you're putting up your career.
Right.
To each his own. Rampage wasn't the only show last night. You had WWE Smackdown as well. They had a pretty good show. You had Drew McIntyre, Johnny Gargano, and Kevin Owens teaming up in the main event to defeat Austin Theory and the Alpha Academy in a fun 6-man tag team main event.
Did they call them the Scottish Panda Express?
No, they did not. They don't call them the Panda Express on TV at all. Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn defeated Madcap Moss and Ricochet to continue.
What a photo.
To continue the momentum of the Bloodline. After the match, though, Jey Uso.
Yeah, how did they get that photo? That's great. Wow.
Jey Uso confronted Sami backstage and told him that he can see through him despite no one else being able to.
He's such a hater, but I love it. He's playing his role so well. I want to be really mad in real life, though.
I love this sub story.
This
is such a great sub story. Like when Roman was giving him the shirt and Jay just sitting there in the corner pouting. It's such a great sub story to this thing.
Yep.
It's awesome. And then Father Bailey beat Shotzi post-match. Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair made the save for Shotzi and beat up Bailey before she ran away. But the big part of SmackDown, the part
did she bring the tank back?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Nice.
Yes, she did. in a match that she lost.
For it too.
In a match that she lost, though, that didn't make too much sense.
All right,
I would have waited.
You're looking at the wrong
because she should have came out with the tank when she made the save for Raquel. I don't care.
Right?
She gotta run to make a save. She just pull out the tank and then run to the ring. Do that. I'd rather that than you bring the tank out and then lose.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, but doing it for the save, it takes so long to get that tank down. It's like Jeff Hardy dancing when he's trying to save his brother.
So what? Jeff Hardy made it okay. He set the standard. But the main talking point coming out of SmackDown is, of course, the latest on the White Rabbit QR code. We got one during a promo vignette from Karrion Kross on the show, and it led to a video of three little pigs and the big bad wolf intercut with a butchered pig and a more menacing looking big bad wolf.
All I'm saying, his debut better be on fire, because all this shit right here, it's not fucking necessary. Just bring his fucking ass out and let's fucking go. Like, we don't need this. We don't need this. Do you want this, SP? Do you? Tell me.
I love
8 days or 7 days.
I love any type of mystery where I have
7 more days of this.
Connect stuff.
7 more days. You think at Extreme Rules is happening?
Yep.
That's the rumor right now. This is the big bad wolf there.
That's when,
there was also
that's when Baron Corbin returns with a new gimmick.
There's also this there's also this code that's from The Simpsons.
I think you're right, though.
Simpsons season 10, episode 6. The video also ended with a Morse code that translated into Azel reborn. Azel is an entity from Jewish folklore who was associated with the scapegoat rite. He is referenced
MJF.
He is referenced in Christian and Islamic folklore as well, and is sometimes considered it to be a fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. Marvel fans might remember that Azel was the name of the mutant transporter from Chuck Austin's unique run on the books in the early 2000s, who was part of the Nephilim, as well as the father of Nightcrawler. Austin was inspired by Christian folklore for his rather controversial run on the books. The video also includes an image of a white rabbit in the corner that the file name to TS season 10 episode 6, the Simpsons episode that has a segment where the town of Springfield has the town of Springfield gets drugged thanks to Homer, and Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit plays during that episode as they hallucinate. The video's file name also includes a phone number that, if you call, plays a distorted audio clip that, when played in reverse, reads Bravo Echo Lima Alpha India Romero, I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into the eternal sorrow. The first 6 letters are military alphabet for Bel Air. So it's Bianca Belair. Finally, the source code for the URL includes the message "Drink more Ovaltine," which is a famous bit from A Christmas Story where young Ralphie gets a little orphan Annie secret society decoder pin and uses it to decode a message that is an advertisement for Ovaltine. Ryan Satin also mentioned that the Three Little Pigs is a fable about 3 pigs who build 3 houses of different materials. A big bad wolf blows down the first 2 pigs' houses and made of straw and sticks, respectively, but is unable to destroy the 3 pigs' house. The 3rd pig's house made of bricks. The first house is the cult leader Bray Wyatt. The second house is the Fiend. The big bad wolf is Vince McMahon. He blew those houses down.
Yeah.
In the 3rd house, which the wolf can't blow down.
A whole new gimmick.
Fightful Select has an update on WWE's highly buzzed about White Rabbit mystery angle. According to the report, those in the know claim that the reveal of the White Rabbit is expected to happen next weekend at WWE's Extreme Rules. However, it's unknown if the person behind the angle will appear in person or not. The Fightful Select noted that not everyone was sold on the idea of using QR codes for the teases, but the people backstage in in WWE informed Fightful that the angle has been a major success and generated even more buzz than what was intended to. Additionally, the report noted that the WWE creative team has been mostly hands-off with the angle, and most backstage sources are unknown about all the various small details that it involves. According to the report, only WWE higher-ups are aware of the plans for the White Rabbit and how it will continue. As noted, most of the speculation unanimously believes that the angle will see the return of Bray Wyatt to the WWE. And we should also note that we had that sign on SmackDown that says "Revel in what you are," and that dates back to a 2019 tweet from The Fiend in which he said the same line. And there you go with the butchered pigs and the
So he's a rabbit now? Is that what it is?
He's always been the rabbit. He led us down the rabbit hole.
He's a rosebud
of all his words, and yeah, so that's all the codes and stuff. This I will say this takes a lot of brain power to think of, but I love it. I love a mystery. I love being like the guy from Sunny Philadelphia, and I'm pointing point A to point Z, and I'm trying to figure everything out. That's me with the White Rabbit mystery.
Yeah, I think like the Corbin, Kentucky zip code. I think he either won the title or defended it against the Miz in that town. It's just so many things that it's crazy.
Okay.
Obviously, White Rabbit was a character that Karrion Kross played in Lucha Underground too. So you kind of wonder, will they team up? Is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if there maybe is a team up, because on one of the videos was an hourglass in the corner.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if that's going to be a team up.
I doubt it's them, and we've even had the Fightful report we talked about last week where they denied that it would be anything with Karrion Kross, even though I did hear interesting things.
Well, I mean, it could be a team up though. It's not him, obviously.
On our Raw review, Romeo brought up a interesting suggestion talking about the Wyatt 6 part of the clues, saying that it might be a stable of Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Braun Strowman, and one other, and that's the
Redbeard.
Yeah,
Redbeard's a free agent.
There you go.
That'd be awesome. That would be an awesome faction, man.
got a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I'm very interested. I'm very interested in all this stuff. But yeah,
I want that gimmick to return. By the way, and under Triple H, it might. I think Triple H is going to kill Happy Corbin. He might already did, because we haven't seen him in a while.
Friday's episode of WWE Smackdown was also affected by Hurricane Ian, with some talent set to miss the show. While the Wrestling Observer newsletter did not list the specific names that were not supposed to be at the show, it was noted that at least some talent who live in the area of Orlando won't make the taping. WWE was said to be concerned about their talent in Florida and their ability to get SmackDown, as well as this weekend's live events in Bismarck, North Dakota, as well as Regina and Saskatoon. And it was noted throughout the night that Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Butch, Ridge Holland were all absent due to being in Florida. So hopefully all those guys are safe so they can be on the show next week. All we can say. We had WWE Raw this week. They did 1.6 million viewers, so up from last week, still down against the NFL Monday Night Football. The show featured a wrestling heavy show with you had Sami Zayn getting a win over AJ Styles in a really good match. Thanks to an assist from Solo Sikoa. You also Matt Riddle beat Damian Priest in the main event. Post-match, the Judgment Day jumped Riddle until Edge came down to make the save and challenged Finn Balor to an I Quit match at Extreme Rules. The Judgment Day was featured throughout the show, though. You had Rhea Ripley and Dominic help out Seth Rollins and by distracting and attacking Rey Mysterio to cost him his match with Seth, while Finn Balor continued to try to recruit AJ Styles into the Judgment Day and then AJ turned them down, so he was attacked after his match with Sami Zayn. So a lot of Judgment Day throughout this episode of Monday Night Raw. You also had Bianca Belair versus versus Io Sky in a solid opener with Bianca Belair picking up the win. But the most noteworthy moment of the show was for sure the shocking, surprising return of Candice LeRae, who made her return out of nowhere pretty much to WWE by defeating Nikki ASH. What did you think about Candice's return to WWE, Miss Krssi Luv?
I'm excited. I'm so happy. Well, it's a no-brainer, of course. We spoke about this too. But yeah, once you seen Johnny come back, it was like, okay, yeah, girl is definitely going to come back soon too. But you just when she's gonna come back, and I'm loving that she's back as the little pixie. Most people didn't know who she was, unfortunately, because they're not watching NXT.0, whatever. But I'm happy to see her on the main roster. Was she needed? Probably not. They probably could have used her on SmackDown mostly, but hey, let's just, she should have went over there. But no, now they have the girls going back and forth on, shows or whatnot, so it's fine. But I'm happy to see her back. Let's get Nikki AHH in an identity crisis, figure this shit out, and let's tell this story so she can get back to doing stuff. But yeah, she didn't need to be on Raw. She can go SmackDown because SmackDown really needs more girl
she had
power.
To be on Raw because Johnny's there. So
right. But I hope stop calling her Johnny Gargano's wife. She has a whole identity. And she can wrestle her ass off. Stop it.
Yeah, definitely. And on a previous show that I used to be on, I said it. I said I felt like they were not going to go to AEW because that's what everybody wants to say. But I thought they would. I thought they would sign together, so then their contracts end together, and it sounds like that's probably what happened. And it's great because you didn't expect either one to happen when they happened, and so they kept it pretty quiet, and it was a great surprise where you don't get surprised too often in pro wrestling anymore.
Right.
Yeah, and it seems like they're getting her into the main storyline on Monday Night Raw, so I can't be too upset. But I can't be upset with the fact he hasn't put anyone worth a damn on fucking SmackDown, and I have to watch
that's the problem.
that goddamn show every fucking Friday. What the hell?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Now you know how it feels, friend. Now you know how it feels. Yep.
I wonder if we get Crazy Nikki back, and maybe Triple H brings back Big Damo. Who knows? Maybe a little bit of sanity might return to WWE. That'd be kind of interesting to see.
Could do that. News coming out of SmackDown or before SmackDown, according to a report by the WrestleVotes Twitter account, WWE is said to be lining up significant plans for Finn Balor for the future. The report noted that what WWE has in mind for Balor is unknown as of yet, but Balor is said to be a strong favorite for the new leadership of WWE. Additionally, WrestleVotes stated that expect Finn to play a big role in the foreseeable future of WWE. Currently, Finn Balor is the leader of the Judgment Day stable in WWE. So,
is he?
I will say,
Rhea's the leader.
I will say, Rhea looked like the leader coming out of Clash at the Castle. The last couple of weeks with Finn recruiting AJ Styles has made him feel more like the leader, and the fact that he's the one seems to be the only one who can pick up damn wins for this useless stable. He looks like the leader.
It's true. It's very true. You're right.
Despite Rhea being she's the Poppy of Judgment Day. She's not the leader of Judgment Day.
I'm wondering if I
love it.
I wonder if a couple of Good Brothers are going to help AJ out here.
Yeah, could do that. Could bring them back as baby faces to go against Judgment Day. That's an interesting route to go with that. But they are booked up with New Japan for the rest of the year. So that unless this feud is going longer than that, which I don't suggest it does, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, look how long the Mysterio one's gone. So
oh god. WWE NXT was this week. They did 688,000 viewers, so up from last week. The show featured Briggs and Jensen picking up a win over Gallus in a pub rules match. Wes Lee defeated Tony D'Angelo to advance to the North American title ladder match at Halloween Havoc after Tony D suffered it just came out of nowhere type of injury during that matchup. Hopefully he's going to be all right.
I noticed they zoomed in on him and he squeezed the ref's hand. That's usually the sign that he's okay. So I think it's something storyline because he did squeeze the ref's hand indicating he was fine.
I don't know. I would think that if it was storyline, they would have done it to make it look like a real injury. It just looked weird. Like he just slid down on his knee and didn't get up. So I think it was real. Ilya Dragunov defeated Zion Quinn after setting up a triple threat matchup against Braun Breaker and JD McDonough for the NXT Championship at Halloween Havoc. Have you been keeping up with NXT since stop reviewing it, Jeremy?
Oh yes, I watch it. I got a new gig. Guess what I'm doing now? Guess what my new gig is? Guess what my new gig is? It is a trivia host in the bar.
Very nice.
You know, I used to host
moved
trivia.
Up in the world.
I used to host trivia on a different website back in the day. But so yeah, I won't get to watch NXT live anymore, but I still watch it every week. I actually kind of enjoy it. I you know, obviously it's rough at times, but hey, we got some Steiner math on Tuesday. That was great. It is so good to have Ilya back. I mean, just the matches that he can have. You know, he had a match of the year last year with Gunther, so there's a lot of people on that roster that he could have some good matches with. So I'm excited with this kind of UK invasion, even though it looks like Gallus is going to be gone for some time now. I was very surprised that Brooks and Jensen won that, though I do kind of like that tag team. I was kind of surprised that they didn't put Gallus over. Maybe Gallus is going to be going overseas or something, since they're
just weird. The whole it was announced after the show that they were suspended after they punched out a referee. Gallus is going to be off of TV, or maybe they're going to build them up for a big reintroduction. I don't know.
I don't know. I like Gallus though, so I like about everybody that they brought over from the UK. So it's been a good shot in the arm for NXT lately. The ratings are kind of showing that too, that it is starting to get its footing. And now you know, there's teases that the kind of 2.0 era is now dead, and next week
still got the same Save Out of Bell colors.
Yeah, right.
But that was a tape show, so this week is going to be the first live show.
This
we'll
next
see.
week,
okay, sure.
Yeah,
ready.
This coming Tuesday might be the you know, the new era 3.0. Who knows?
We shall see. We shall see. Also, this past week, what we missed, New Japan Pro Wrestling Burning Spirit. You had Will Ospreay defeat David Finlay in a tremendous main event to retain the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Karl Andetson beat Hiroshi Tanahashi to retain the Never Openweight Championship, thanks to help from the Big LG Doc Gallows. Post-match, Jay White came out to help the Good Brothers jump Tada until Tama Tonga made the save. And then Hikuleo came down. He looked like he was going to attack Tama Tonga, but he instead basically sided with his brother over the Bullet Club, turning on the Bullet Club, realigning with Tama to help him lay out Jay White, and he stood tall, holding up the Never Openweight Championship, while Tama held up the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And TJP and Francisca Akira defeated Team 6 or 9 to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. All I will say, go out of your way to watch Ospreay versus Finlay. It's probably the best match of David Finlay's career, and Will Ospreay, it was just a Sunday.
Bullet Club is fine.
He has great matches.
Perfectly fine.
Every day, pretty much. You also had GCW Planet Death, as they're in Japan now for a tour. GCW had Rina Yamashita defeat Mance Warner to retain the GCW Ultra Violent Championship. In the main event, Drew Parker defeated Alex Colon and Tori Sariko. You had GCW Dead on Arrival. You had Strong Hearts beat Joey Janela, Jordan Oliver, and Nick Wayne. And Jun Kasai defeated Effie in a death match. The Mega Bastards and Rina Yamashita beat ERE. And then Impact on AXS TV had Masha Slamovich beat Ali Catch in a brutal Monsters Ball matchup. You also had Rich Swann and Heath beat Vincent and PCO to get some revenge from Victory Road. And Ace Austin and Chris Bay defeated Trey Miguel and Laredo Kid in an awesome opener. That was high flying excellence right there. So that was all from What We Miss, Impact, GCW, WWE, AEW. So as per usual, it's been a few weeks for Krssi Luv. First time for Jeremy. It's that time to give out your medals, your gold, silver, and bronze medal for your match of the week.
Ooh.
This is each week, Jeremy. We do this now on the show. This is our 4th week doing it, where each of the hosts will give a gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal to the best matches of the week. I will go first so everyone can know how it's done, basically. My bronze medal, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn versus AJ Styles from Monday Night Raw. Really good matchup. Love Zayn picking up the win over a former WWE champion. From AEW Dynamite, my silver medal is going to go to Chris Jericho versus Bandido. Like I said, great main event, a showcase, phenomenal performance from Bandido. And number 1, there's a reason I said it was must watch, because it was a tremendous match. I give it 4.5 stars. So it was my match of the week, the gold medal from New Japan Pro Wrestling Burning Spirit, Will Ospreay versus David Finlay for the IWGP US Championship. So Krssi Luv, show Jeremy as well, who is your 3 matches, your gold, silver, and bronze medal for the week?
My gold is my bronze is the same as you, Sami and AJ, banger match. I didn't know I needed to see them do this until they did it. My silver goes to it's going to be Willow and Jamie Hayter. And then my gold has to go to Serena Deebs and Toni Storm.
Wow.
2 women's matches. Yep.
Go ahead. That's very weird. We got 2 women's matches on there. So Toni Storm.
I think the women delivered for AEW. The women delivered this week. So yes, good for them.
They did. Definitely was a step.
They needed this. They needed this week. There was a strong week. I hope this week keeps going stronger for them. I believe in them. I think they can do it. Hopefully with this guidance they can go better. But yes, that's my matches. Honorary mention to, I want to say Shotzi and Bailey. They did great on Friday SmackDown. So
I'm a little limited with being gone to a wedding last night, so I didn't watch SmackDown or Rampage. My bronze medal would probably be I would have to say Panda Express against Alpha Academy. That was a great tag team match on Monday.
Can we give Alpha Academy their flowers, please?
Right.
That right there is such good work that they are doing. I didn't even know that these were them, and these people were there until they start doing these things, and let them just go and just run with it.
Yeah, and I didn't get to watch Impact either because I've been doing the trivia. I've been training, I was training 3 nights this week before I start hosting my own bar. So I didn't get to watch Impact yet. I'll probably catch that on Monday, along with everything else, probably on Monday. My silver medal would probably be Jericho and Bandido, and my gold medal is going to be AJ Styles and Sami Zayn.
Oh,
there you go. Nicely
nice job,
done.
Jeremy.
Let us know in the live chat your gold, silver, and bronze medal for the match of the week this week. If you're watching us on demand, let us know in the comments down below, and I will definitely reply and tell you what I think about your choices. We got Nick Jackson, who says his bronze medal is going to Masha versus Ali Catch. That was definitely my honorable mention for this week.
I have to go back and watch that.
Really damn good matchup. He gave the silver medal to Bandido and Jericho, and then the gold medal to Finlay versus Ospreay.
It's good to see. It's good to see Ali on national television. I'm a big fan of hers. A big fan of obviously. I would say Cardona is the guy that got me into GCW a little over a year ago, and I love watching GCW. So good to see her getting some work.
Most definitely, so talented, and definitely.
Her and Willow need to be on TV all the time. Put them on.
Want to see both of them.
How is she not signed yet? How is she not signed yet? Come on.
Hello.
Both of them need some contracts. Let's run through some WWE, AEW, and wrestling news from this past week. WWE news: PW Insider reports that there have been rumors. There was rumors going around, reportedly from Zero News. Oh my. There's people that still believe Zero News. Zero News reportedly made a rumor that Kevin Dunn had been fired from WWE. However,
that's not true? Wow.
No, it's not. PW Insider confirmed that those rumors are false and that his status with WWE has not changed. So Kevin Dunn is still with the company.
Why is LA Knight trending right now?
Because people probably just saw last night's SmackDown. because they were at weddings like you. We got another name that is actually gone from WWE though is Dr. Chris Ammon, who was the WWE's senior ringside physician.
Punk to WWE confirmed.
Has reportedly exited the company. PW Insider reports that Ammon, who has been with the company since 2008 and was involved in the implementing WWE sports medicine program and wellness policy, has finished up his time with the company. The site reports that despite rumors that he was terminated, multiple sources said that Ammon gave his notice a while back and has officially retired. Ammon is perhaps most well known to wrestling fans as the man who was referenced repeatedly by CM Punk on his famous podcast interview with Scott Colton, aka Colt Cabana, aka shares a bank account with his mama. In November of 2014, Punk accused Ammon of misdiagnosing an MSRA infection and refusing to remove it. Ammon sued Punk and Cabana for defamation, allegedly that he had suffered reputational damage and been harassed by fans, and the jury in the case found in favor of Punk and Cabana, ruling that they were not liable for any of Ammon's claims. So,
see, it's confirmed. Punk to WWE.
Yeah.
What everybody wants. Everybody wants CM Punk to leave AEW and go to WWE. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. And yes, Nick Jackson, hashtag sign Bussy.
Sign Bussy, please.
Sign
they need Bussy.
Everyone needs Bussy. Everyone needs Bussy in their life.
You need Bussy control.
We also got Annika, who says bronze Bandido versus Jericho, silver AJ versus Sami, gold to Panda Express versus Alpha Academy. So some more love for that tag team matchup. More WWE news. Randall Keith Orton has been out of action since May, and a new report notes that some in WWE are concerned about his injury, as was reported in June. The attack that wrote Orton out of action from WWE the month prior was for a legitimate back injury, and he was expected at the time to be out for the rest of the year. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, though, there is quite a bit of concern within WWE about the severity of Orton's injury, and there were not further details noted about how severe the injury might be or when Orton may be able to return. Orton testified this week in the lawsuit over his tattoos appearing in the WWE 2K franchise, which went to the jury on Friday. So what do you think? Do you think that Orton may miss WrestleMania, Jeremy?
God, I hope not, because I want to see the RK Bro reunion, man. But yeah, obviously this is clearly serious because it's taken him out of the majority of this year, which has probably been, last year was probably one of the happiest times that Randy has had with RK Bro. That was supposed to be a one night thing, and it turned into
gold.
One of the best tag teams in the past 5 years, at least. It's been such a great story. So I hope he can return to save Riddle at some point, wherever he may be getting beat down at. But obviously health is the most important thing, and Randy is not a spring chicken anymore. So you gotta really take care of yourself and to make sure it doesn't do any long-term damage.
100% agree with you there. As was previously reported, our final WWE news note, WWE has been pursuing new designs to several title belts, and further information has been recently released about it or uncovered via Fightful Select. Sources indicate that at least 3 new sets of title belts have been completed and are currently in WWE's possession. In addition to the description previously provided by Dan Belzer, WWE sources report that additional design changes have been indicated, but information on what those might be is scant. Some of the WWE talent that Fightful Select spoke to stated that they previously supported some of the alterations to the belts. When asked regarding Velcro or snaps, several indicated that the Velcro helps when the belt needs to be attached rapidly, but leaves much to be desired in the cosmetic appearance. Sources also stated that the plans for utilizing new designs had already been in motion prior to McMahon's departure, and the subsequent administrative reshuffling, but that Triple H's new position appointment accelerated some things to an extent. It was also said that further cosmetic design changes might be expected for elements on the Raw and SmackDown and NXT sets. So if you could choose one belt to redesign right now, Miss Krssi Luv, what would it be?
Ooh,
in WWE.
In WWE, the women's tag belts.
And that was also in the report that they have some tag belts that were supposed to be used for the women's tag team titles, but were never used.
Okay, and the Dipset belt too.
Oh no, I love that one.
You love the Dipset belt?
Keep the Dipset. Dipset.
Maybe the IC belt. IC belt then.
I'm fine with the mid-card titles, honestly. I'm talking. Really? I want the main titles, the WWE title and
the women's title needs a revamp. I want the women's title not to look like the guys' title, just in a different color. Like let's let the women have their own title and make it look different, and then have the guys have their own titles, because it's only just the same belt, just color is just with red or blue for each one, and just one is black for the other side. That's just all of what it is. One is black, one is blue.
Yeah, I think it's time to get rid of that big W.
Yeah,
go back to
it looks like a toy.
Go back to the wing. Yeah, I mean it's better than the John Cena spinner. That crap belt, but go back
that was trash too. Yeah, I hated that one.
Go back to something that's similar, like the Winged Eagle or something like that. Something that looks like a title.
The classic belt was just great.
Yeah,
all the classic belts.
Yeah, all the classic belts are all great. Like you want something that's like time worthy, like it's never like it can never get I don't know, you know what I mean.
I'll be honest, I prefer the John Cena spinner title over this crap that we got now.
Well, no, that's what we're saying. Like,
because at least both look like toys.
That was a toy.
You can spin one. At least you can spin one of them. I'll take a spinning toy
in their defense in that era that spinning with rims and shit like that. That's where the spin, the necklace. That's what that era was from. That's where that belt came from. Right now, we're not doing none of that shit. So you need to grow up. These millennials now, the kids, keep those kid belts for the kids and get something for adults. That's just what it is. Make the belt.
Like AEW's got sweet titles.
Yeah.
Yes, they have some great look.
Most of AEW's titles do hit more consistently, and I agree with the chat. The NXT UK titles are probably the best WWE has made in the past decade. AEW news: after social media comments about his absence from AEW Dynamite, Miro took to Twitter this past week with several frustrated posts to reveal his feelings regarding the situation between himself and AEW. The wrestler has only appeared in a pair of matches for the company in the last 4 months, despite a 4-year contract extension being signed with AEW earlier this past year. After a fan noted that it's been 3 months since Miro had a match on Dynamite, the Redeemer said, and I quote, "Nobody has the balls." After the AEW Twitter account tweeted that it was the anniversary of Miro losing the TNT Championship on Thursday, he replied, and I quote, "You don't even have the balls to at me." So Miro isn't happy, but he's still playing his character. Love to see it. Tony Khan knows this week's AEW Dynamite was very promo heavy, so he promised that it won't be the norm for the show. He said, and I quote, following Wednesday's show, Wednesday's hashtag AEW Dynamite after hashtag Grand Slam was the first Dynamite with 3 lengthy live promo segments in one show since December 9th, 2020. Following Winter is Coming. Both December 9th, 2020 and this week needed these promos to follow up on a newsworthy supercards. I promise we won't lose focus on the wrestling. So I appreciate that. Tony Khan addresses the fans a lot.
Have to, but I mean, it was the situation. You had to go on the fly, make a lot of changes. A lot of things happened last minute with the hurricane, so you can't really fault them for doing what they did. And it still was a great show, I thought.
He finished his movie, talking about Miro just finished a movie or something. He didn't do a movie, he did a series, a pilot for CBS, but that's been done for a few months now. I'm not understanding why he isn't on Dynamite.
MJF was the one that did a movie. I think, or was talking about movies.
Yeah, he had negotiations for movies in LA. Speaking
he
of,
was gone.
Yeah.
Do we ever get CJ with Lot?
No.
Do we ever get her with Miro? You don't want it?
I'm okay with
CJ outside, like Fashion Nova clothes and all these like Instagram shows and shops. She's not worried about none of this stuff.
I always love when he brings her up.
CJ's always been like reality TV and internet famous.
And I've already said I want
and
Miro's
just put her through a table again, by the way.
I want Miro's hot wife to be like Columbo talking about his wife on that show. You never saw Columbo's wife. You never need to see Miro's.
Man, when Julia Hart came into that frame on that promo, I thought that was her. I was like, holy shit. No, but
Speaking of MJF, though, MJF's return to AEW apparently pleased the company's broadcast partners in Warner Brothers Discovery. Fightful Select reports that several people within WBD are happy that the AEW star has returned to the company, with one person pointing to the fact that AEW has been a consistent rating success for the AEW star has been a consistent rating success for the company. The report adds that MJF's comments and interviews that he essentially didn't leave his house for 3 months is mostly true, noting that he didn't have contact with most people, including close friends, until shortly before he returned at All Out. Several members of the roster did learn that he would be the Joker in the Casino ladder match in the lead up to All Out. The site also notes that MJF stayed in Los Angeles after his pipe bomb promo to do meetings for projects related to Hollywood, an aspiration that he alluded to in recent interviews. And he is said to have kept a low profile beyond that and stayed away from social media and even going out in public. While MJF has said in interviews that he hasn't signed an extension to go with his improved contract, that is not yet confirmed, and it was heavily implied by those within AEW that he is in a much more favorable financial situation.
So that's how he put a ring on it. He was not doing anything else. So he just that's how he got engaged. He was not doing anything else for 3 months, hanging out with his fiance.
Hey, there's a lot of people that got engaged during the pandemic, so it makes sense. This
was like his own mini pandemic, you know.
His MJF pandemic, his stupid fucking Mark pandemic. Speaking
yet they're happy to have him back. Of course, now you can't really say shit on Dynamite. They bleep it out, but
they take the late ass shit now.
They don't bleep out shut the fuck up from the crowd though, so at least that's good.
Yeah, they can't bleep the crowd. The crowd can say what they
WWE
want.
Tries.
Yeah, they do. Speaking of Warner Brothers Discovery, though, Cody Rhodes apparently talked to Warner Brothers Discovery before he left AEW. According to a new report from Fightful Select, Warner Brothers Discovery spoke to Rhodes before his AEW departure and tried to convince him to stay with the company. According to sources at WBD, there were several efforts to keep Rhodes in AEW as he had a good relationship with Warner Media due to his work on Roads to the Top and Go Big Show. The deal with WWE wasn't official until a few weeks before WrestleMania, although WWE thought it was a foregone conclusion. After Warner Brothers merged with Discovery, however, there were efforts outside of AEW to see how interested Rhodes was in staying with AEW. Those who tried to contact Rhodes included Associate General Manager and Senior Vice President of Scripted Original Programming for TBS, TNT, and True TV, Sam Linsky. There was said to be no issues on either side. Rhodes told anyone who asked that it was time to leave the territory. Since Rhodes and Brandy were connected to several WBD shows, they were asked to take part in the upfronts. There was no word if it was tied to those shows, AEW or both. WBD sources said they wanted Rhodes to stay, but it wasn't a deal breaker. They are also reportedly happy with AEW, especially the viewership numbers for September. But what do you think about the TV partner kind of jumping over AEW to go say, yo, please, Cody, please stay. We need your reality.
Right. No, they really want because they knew what they had. That's why they knew that.
That bootleg Ms. and Mrs. was not an interesting show, though.
I prefer that over Ms. and Mrs., though.
I mean, I
like Ms. and Mrs., though.
I think if they had better people behind them, per se, for their show could have been better. It wasn't a bad show. I think they just didn't and they didn't have that many episodes. I think they only had 5, which, the starter.
But I think just that the star power, the people, but wasn't really behind it. They didn't push it like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's
like
it's weird.
They pushed the hell out of Miz and Mrs. You're going to see it. You see it on E. You see it everywhere. Unfortunately,
and obviously,
would it roll into the top? I don't know what the hell the dumb name was.
Rose
but
to the top.
It wasn't a bad. It wasn't a bad show. I wish they would have gotten more. It was messy too because his sisters was nasty.
Right. It was just wasn't interesting, but
right.
You could see the worth. You saw how.
Yeah, you
saw the shot in the arm. You saw the shot in the arm WWE got when he debuted at WrestleMania, and a lot of people calling it match of the year, moment of the year,
right?
All sorts of things. And then, of course, unfortunately, Cody getting hurt, but he'll be back. Hey, it's almost Royal Rumble time.
Soon comes. Yep.
He will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fret. The American Nightmare will be back. And then the final AEW news note, apparently Gato, the New Japan booker and wrestler, was backstage at AEW Dynamite this week in Philadelphia. Tony Khan revealed that in a photo where he wrote, "The Forbidden Door is opening again tonight in Philadelphia. I can't wait for Wednesday night. #AEW Dynamite on TBS Network tonight. Thank you to everyone who watches at AEW on TV. See you tonight on TBS."
What a photo. That's just a badass photo right there.
Him and Mox and Gato, the three people who put together the Forbidden Door, pretty much.
Yeah.
And also in New Japan news, Pro Wrestling Noah has announced that New Japan Pro Wrestling wrestlers will face Kenji Muta during his retirement tour. Muta will team with Naramushi Marufuji and Yoshiki Inamura against Hiroshi Tanahashi and Great Bash Heel Toge Makabe and Toyama Honma.
That man looks like someone's grandpa. Like, how old is he?
That's why he's retiring. That's Kenji Muta. That's the Great Muta.
I watched him when I was a kid.
He's on the right. He's on the right side.
I thought you were talking about the one on the left with the gray beard.
Oh yeah, left him. I'm facing it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah.
I was watching him in the 80s. I was watching him in the 80s in NWA, man. That's why I got into wrestling, was watching NWA Saturday at 505 with my grandma.
Oh, there it is. Some old school references. Deep cuts here on
yeah.
But yeah, that'll be at the Pro Wrestling Love Forever on October 30th event as part of Muta's retirement tour that Sting will be a part of in January as well. And then our final news note, Impact Wrestling news. They have a number of deals set to expire, but Fightful Select reports that the contract of Mia Yim is set to expire in a couple of weeks, just after Bound for Glory. She returned to the company this past spring and only worked with Impact outside a couple of select independent dates. It was said that when she signed, it was a short-term deal through October. The official date that the contract expires is October 9th, 2 days after Bound for Glory, and there's no word if there have been any talks to keep her on board at this time. As previously reported, the contracts of Maria Kanellis, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven, who we interviewed just a few weeks ago, are also set to expire around that time as well. And that's a perfect segue to talk about Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory next Friday, October 7th, Albany, New York, the biggest event of Impact Wrestling's year, as we end off this edition of True Hill Heat. So let us know in the live chat. Last call for super chat donations. If you have any thoughts, comments about any of the news we covered, or if you have a prediction on Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory, let us know in the live chat, and let us know with a super chat donation, because those help out so much. But let's talk about Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory next Friday. You got on the countdown show, the pre-show is going to be the Impact Digital Media Championship Open Challenge, as Brian Myers will defend against a opponent to be announced. There's a number of free agents out there. There's a number of former Impact stars who can come aboard, but Brian Myers has specified that they have to have a blue check mark on Twitter to verse him for the digital media.
That's another one they missed out on too. This guy right here,
brilliant.
WWE, they dropped the ball on him too.
Oh yeah,
he's been killing it in Impact.
Yeah, his singles run in Impact has been tremendous.
He's another person that just like, Impact has great belts too, guys.
They do.
They have great. I'm looking at this one, but yeah, they dropped the ball on him for sure.
I thought this was a dumb title at first, but then when you think about the logistics of it and everything, it's kind of brilliant, you know. And now they're doing. Now he's saying you got to have a blue check mark for the digital media title. It's like, it's brilliant. It's kind of brilliant when you think about it.
I won't test your brains to figure out who's gonna be his opponent. All I will say is, who do you think is gonna win? The mystery opponent or Brian Myers? Krssi?
Brian Myers.
Jeremy?
Yeah. It could be Fish that takes him.
No, Fish is already announced for a match.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know.
I'm not gonna try to flex my brain and see if I can figure out.
Oh,
I would have to look up if the person has a blue.
Oh,
check
he's
mark,
in the gauntlet, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's really, it's hard to tell who maybe they bring somebody in and they win it. You never know. I'm
going with the mystery person. I'm not going to take the time.
Lose?
Yeah,
do you have any inkling on who?
How long has that had the belt?
He's had the belt since, I want to say, Against All Odds or Slammiversary. One of those.
How funny would it be, since we saw Allie this Thursday? How funny would it be if it was Effie?
I would love that.
Great.
That would be amazing.
I'll see if Effie has a blue check mark after the show.
Please let us know. Like message us.
I
got 2 monitors. I can look right now.
Nice. Let's talk about the.
Oh, he doesn't.
See, so he missed the cut.
Damn.
Let's talk about the main card, though. You have Mickie James' last rodeo, where Mickie James will retire if she loses her next match in Impact Wrestling before she gets a shot at the Knockouts World Championship, and she versus Mia Yim, a former Knockouts champion. Mickie James challenged Mia Yim at Victory Road, and now these two ladies will go at it. I'm going with Mickie in this one. Who you got, Jeremy?
Yeah, you just spoiled it with that news earlier that Mia Yim is probably going to leave the company. I don't think Mickey's done anytime soon either. She's continuously comes back and performs, and so I'm definitely going Mickie James here.
Krssi?
Definitely Mickie, because I feel like she's probably going to go where her husband is going. I mean, with her husband.
I could see Mia Yim signing with AEW, and that's another shot in the arm that the women's division needs over there as well. Call your shot gauntlet matchup. Basically, it's going to start off with 2 competitors. Every minute, a new competitor will come. 20 participants in the match. The last person standing gets a shot at any Impact Wrestling Championship whenever they want to cash it in. Last year, Moose won it and then cashed in after the main event. Who will win this year? You got PCO, Giselle Shaw, Moose is back in it, Rich Swann, Heath, Steve Macklin, Sami Callihan, and Bobby Fish already announced. This is a tough one, especially because Moose kind of set a standard for this for the gauntlet. Now I'm gonna go with PCO though. I think the story of PCO winning due to his dissension within Honor No More will make the main event more interesting and make it a chance Eddie Edwards can beat Josh Alexander if Moose if PCO has the call your shot gauntlet. That makes sense to me. Who you got, Krssi?
First of all, okay, who's that pretty girl that was in the background with them? Is she in the
gauntlet? Yeah, because it's gonna be an intergender.
Yeah, because like I said, you get a shot at any Impact Championship you want, so it doesn't have to be the world title.
Yeah, so there'll be a few knockouts in this match too.
So okay, so I have to pick who I think is going to be in this gauntlet. Who's going to win?
Who you think's going to win?
Ooh, okay. And you pick PCO.
Yep.
Which is the which one is that one?
That's the one with the eye.
Frankenstein
and the white.
Oh, that's the one with the crazy looking face mask. Oh yeah, we seen him at the GCW thing, did we not?
Yes, we did.
Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm not picking him. Definitely not him. I'm gonna go probably Moose because I know Fish is not gonna win. So yeah,
going with Moose. Who you got, Jeremy?
And I love him.
I got it down to 2 people, either Macklin or Heath. I think it's gonna be either Macklin or Heath. I think Heath's probably overdue for a push. Macklin has kind of risen in his own way as a singles performer. Obviously. Has done a great job there too. Those are the 2 guys that come to mind. Again, this is ripe for a surprise to come in and win too, which I can't say. But of the people announced right off the top of my head, I think it's either going to be Macklin or Heath.
Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships up for grabs. Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo Thex will face Taya Valkyrie and Jessica S-I-C-K because she's sick. And we're going to have an interview with Jessica on our YouTube channel next week ahead of Bound for Glory. So who walks out with the Knockouts tag team titles, Miss Krssi Luv?
I think the champions are going to retain it.
Champions to retain. What about you, Jeremy?
Yeah, the true team is Havoc and Rosemary. This obviously Taya joining them is kind of cool, but I wouldn't be surprised if Taya turns on Jessica by the end of it and joins VXT. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's going to be a retain.
Impact X Division Championship up for grabs. Interpromotional matchup here as Impact Wrestling's X Division champion Speedball Mike Bailey versus AEW's own Frankie Kazarian. Kazarian won the Triple Threat Revolver at Victory Road to earn this opportunity. Who is going to be the X Division champion? As always, I always go with Speedball. I'm going with Speedball here. Krssi?
Yeah, I don't see Frankie winning right now. Champion retains.
Jeremy?
Yeah, speaking of a guy that's had a great year, it's Speedball Mike Bailey, and the perfect guy to hold that X Division belt too. Yeah, there's no way that Frankie's gonna win, but it's gonna be a hell of a match.
It's gonna be great. I'm happy to see Frankie, because he doesn't get to do much in AEW. So go to Impact and just
so we get that.
And he cut a promo, kind of throwing shade at that. He was like, here in Impact, they don't keep a first round draft pick on the bench. They know that a player needs to play here.
Yeah, him and Bobby kind of taking some shots at AEW lately. Give me that SCU reunion, for crying out loud. The fans want it.
Hey, they can only do it in Impact, can't do it in AEW. Impact World Tag Team Championships up for grabs. The OGK, the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett with Maria Kanellis will face what's considered the greatest team in Impact Wrestling history. Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns. The Machine Guns defeated the Good Brothers and then Aussie Open in back-to-back weeks to earn this opportunity here. I got to go with the Machine Guns, even though I love Taven and Bennett. Did my interview with Taven. He's a great guy, but I got to go with the Machine Guns because of the contract situation with OGK. Who you got, Jeremy?
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm picking the Machine Guns, is because they're going to be out. I don't know where do you think they go? Do you think they go WWE?
Taven and Bennett, I would see them back in Ring of Honor before I'd see them in WWE, especially how Taven talked about Ring of Honor and being happy that Tony took it over. I could see them going back there instead of going to WWE.
Yeah, didn't Fightful come out with something that Maria was talking with WWE though? Or
Maria's talked to everybody. Maria talked to Triple H. She literally said, I talked to Triple H, I talked to Tony Khan, I talked to WoW. She talked to everybody. So I wouldn't take that as a clue she's going back to WWE.
The Kingdom is ROH, so that would be great to see them back there. But yeah, this is another thing where the contract is spoiling the match, and the Machine Guns are gonna how many times have they held those belts, by the way?
Only twice in their whole career.
Wow. Yeah. Machine Guns, it's their time.
Krssi?
Machine Guns, you guys gave me all the info I needed.
Impact Knockouts World Championship up for grabs. Jordynne Grace will defend against Masha Slamovich. It's streak versus title. Masha Slamovich has been undefeated in Impact Wrestling since arriving late last year. Jordynne Grace won back the Knockouts Championship at Slammiversary in the Queen of the Mountain, has successfully defended it against Tasha Steelz as well as Mia Yim and Deonna Purrazzo as well. So who walks out with the gold here? Knockouts World Championship. Jeremy.
My girl. I've been waiting for this match ever since she debuted, and I cannot go against my girl Masha. She's gonna take the title.
Krssi?
Masha, I see streak winning before not losing. They want to keep that streak going. So yes, give her the belt.
Masha's been absolutely killing it. I'm so proud of her. She's one of the there's a few people that it's called the True Hill Heat streak of we interview them and then they immediately get signed. Austin Theory, LAX, who else? Mia Yim got signed by WWE after we interviewed her. Masha Slamovich, we interviewed her when she was just on an independent show. We were sponsoring the show, and I saw her name, and they asked me, who do you want to interview? I was like, I never heard of her, but I love her name, Masha Slamovich.
Does that mean I'm getting signed?
We interviewed her, and then she was. You'll probably get signed. You're getting signed already. You get signed to Believe.
That's true.
Masha Slamovich is going to be the Knockouts World Champion, and I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely going for Masha. And then the main event, Impact World Championship up for grabs. Josh Alexander defends against Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards won a 6-way elimination matchup to earn this opportunity. He defeated and became the first man to pin Josh Alexander since last year's Bound for Glory at Victory Road in a 6-man tag team matchup. So he has a bunch of momentum. Does Eddie Edwards claim the Impact World Championship and bring it to Honor No More, or does Josh Alexander represent the company by holding on to the title? Krssi?
Josh Alexander.
Jeremy?
Yeah, Eddie doesn't need the title. This is unless there's some kind of stuff that obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, a lot of chicanery. It's Impact Wrestling. How can you not have that? But that's going to happen. But yet somehow Josh comes out on top.
I agree with both of you. I think Josh Alexander holds on to the title, which makes for my pick of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet even better because PCL is going to be the guy to beat him. And then that's going to piss off Eddie because Honor No More has the title, but he's not the guy to bring.
You believe he wrestled in WWE in the 90s?
I watch it and I'm still amazed. I shock every time he's on TV. I'll be like, you remember Jean-Pierre Lafitte to my missus? And she'd be like, no, that's not him. That's not him. Yes, it is him. That is John Lepere.
It's amazing.
That is one half of the Quebecers.
It's amazing.
Yes, the Quebec. Yes, it is.
It's just amazing what he's done the past 5 years.
Absolutely has. And it's been an amazing time on True Hill Heat 195. Remember, Impact Wrestling Bound for Glory available on Fight TV next Friday. We'll do a Friday Night Warriors watching along Bound for Glory, AEW Rampage, Battle of the Belts, and SmackDown next week. We'll also do preview shows for Bound for Glory and Extreme Rules next week, as well as we'll preview Extreme Rules on next week's show. But Jeremy, thank you so much for being our special guest on True Hill Heat 195. Please let the people know where they can follow you on social media and of course where they can find Lost in the Midcard podcast.
You can follow me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. You can find me usually live tweeting Monday Night Raw, AEW Dynamite, sometimes on Friday Night SmackDown if I'm around. So have a little fun with me on the Twitter there. Lost to the Midcard again. We are coming back after a year-long hiatus. We are going to be on the Believe in Pro Wrestling Podcast Network. We will be live Mondays starting October 10th. So we're pushing that back a week, but we'll be live at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, kind of leading you up to Raw, bringing the show back, maybe a little different format, but we're going to have a lot of fun with it there. So hope you join us live starting on the 10th of October.
Absolutely. Follow Jeremy. He's doing great work. If you liked him here, you'll definitely like him on the Lost in the Midcard podcast. Miss Krssi Luv, let the people know where they can follow you, miss, and when they'll see you back here on the channel.
You can follow me IG, Facebook, Twitter. Twitter is True Hill Krssi Luv. IG is Krssi Luv _1. You find me every week on our podcast for True Hill Heat, our flagship show, Serving Face and Hill, which is on Sundays at 11:05. So catch that episode for tomorrow. We are back again. It's Stephanie Hype's birthday last week, so we get to talk about that. Other than that, you can find me, like I said, on my handles, which is IG, Facebook, and on Twitter. My name is just Crystal Lynch.
Yes, follow Miss Krssi Luv, and of course, watch Serving Face and Heels tomorrow at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, pre-recorded edition. But I'll definitely be in the live chat to talk about it with all of you in the live chat if you join us live.
Please don't butcher us because we said Saraya's name wrong. Okay, we said Saraya.
It's okay. It's okay.
Excalibur screwed it up
add
too,
us.
so it's fine.
They'll be fine. Besides that, for tomorrow, right here on the channel, you got on the True Hill Heat Sports YouTube channel tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. our football watch along for the early game with the Minnesota Vikings and New Orleans Saints. You got the 1 p.m. games for True Hill Heat Sports number 44. You got the 4 p.m. games for True Hill Heat Sports for number 45 and number 46 is going to be Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Sunday night football. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us in the live chat. You guys have been awesome throughout. We got Frantic World saying good live stream, guys. See you on the next one. Frantic World also saying Josh Alexander is going to win the main event, and Ace saying Josh as well. So for Jeremy Bennett, for Miss Krssi Luv, it is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. This has been True Hill Heat 195. Not gonna take this. We are signing off until next time.
Laters.